everybody. How are you tonight? Look at these beautiful co-hosts down there looking all radiant. Look at this.
Hey.
This is none other than Brown Sugar Confessions coming to you yet again. Another beautiful Wednesday night only on Power 1017. I am super excited to be here. Y'all looking extra fabulous tonight. What's going on, Treese and Miss T and Jenny C and Kate? Y'all looking amazing tonight. I am super excited for tonight's show. Can I tell y'all why?
Why? What's going on?
Okay, so we're going to do something we haven't done yet. Well, we haven't done a lot yet because this is a new show, but that's beside the point. We're going to do something because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And are y'all not wearing pink? Why am I the only one wearing pink?
My nails are pink. Does that count?
No.
My cat's nose is pink.
Next week I'll wear pink.
Yes, we're wearing
next
pink.
week we'll wear pink next week.
And from what I recall, you told me there's something really hot in our hot topics you want to talk about. That I was kind of shocked when I heard about it. I'm like, all right, let's go with it. What's our hot topic, girl?
So let me get started. Okay, y'all, there is a time and a place for everything, and not everything needs to be done out in the open, shall we say. There is a story out of, guess where? Pensacola, Florida man, or Florida
woman. Of course.
We should say Florida woman this time. So here's the story. Alexis King, 37-year-old woman, was reportedly found by customer service people at a car dealership where she was found in the back of a Jeep flicking the bean.
What?
Flicking.
She was flicking the bean.
She was flicking the bean in the back of the car or in the Jeep. She caused $1,300 worth of damages. It took her 10 minutes to get out of the car when the car people told her you have 2 minutes, but it took her 10, which I don't understand why y'all are giving people even that amount of time to get out of a car.
They don't give you that much time on a test drive.
Right? I'm like, you go around the block in a test drive and you come back and that's it. But supposedly the people people that worked in the car dealerships saw a woman that was completely naked with her legs in the air.
Oh, so she had time to take her clothes off.
She had time to be wholly naked.
Oh my.
Wholly naked in the back. But this is my thing. Jeeps are not that big. How she do that? How did she do that? Because I know I've been in the back Jeep doing some things and it's never been fun or comfortable. It's always halfway in and halfway out. That's it.
But she was alone in the Jeep.
She was alone, self-pleasuring in the Jeep. And supposedly she left menstrual stains in the car. The car smelled horrible. And they had,
oh my God.
And apparently when the police stopped her, she gave them multiple false names and stuff like that. But she has been arrested with underneath burglary, criminal mischief, and indecent exposure.
Oh,
so this ain't her first rodeo.
I look, maybe this is some kind of Kinktober.
Yeah.
Maybe this is some kind of kink for her. Like to be, let's be honest, people do have kinks where they like to do things in public, and maybe this was her thing. You know what I'm saying? But maybe either way.
But hold on. I want to know something. What was she doing in this Jeep to cause $1,300 worth of damage?
I think she was a squirter. I think she was a squirter, and she just hosed the back seat down. That's the only thing I can think of.
Crazy. So here's what I'm going to say to this woman. Like, if you're an exhibitionist, honey, there's other things that you can do to get your exhibition on without it costing you $1,300 and racking up a charge. We're just saying from Brown Sugar Confessions.
I mean, there's a whole village dedicated to it in France. Come on.
Exactly.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
You can squirt and do whatever kind of stains you need to do to get your exhibition on. but you don't have to do it and get yourself a charge. We're just saying that's crazy. Well, Lordy Jesus, we're gonna move right on into our topic here tonight. That's a good one, Trees. Thank you, love. And we're gonna talk about breast cancer, sex, and relationships. And I just want to first, acknowledge all the men, because there are men that are also breast cancer survivors, and especially our ladies that are breast cancer survivors, and just say, it's not just we see you and hear you, we understand. And to our mothers and aunties and grandmothers that have passed on, you'll always be a part of us. It's a horrible, dreaded disease. And one that terrifies a woman. Every time you go get your boob smashed in that machine, you're wondering, you're looking, I'm not even an X-ray person. I'm like, do you always do this? This is just me, or do y'all do this too? Do you tell the technician, do you see anything? Oh, I can't tell you. No, but you can tell me though, right? Do you ever do that to the X-ray technician?
Oh, like, I tilt my head to read the machine. I'm tilting. I'm like,
okay, I'm not the only one, because I'll be like, no, do you see anything? Well, I can't tell you, but you can tell me.
Like, these are my boobs, god dang it. You better tell me something.
Exactly, right? So the anxiety that we go through every 6 months, for some of us are on that schedule, and every year, to go through that boob smashing machine, that you're like, oh man, I got implants and you're going to smash them. Are you going to smash my implants? I know some of y'all wearing them, thinking about that too. I'm just going to put it out there. I know y'all thinking about that, and y'all ask that question.
I mean, can they smash implants?
Mm-hmm. They can.
Do they explode?
No.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
They smash the implants. They don't explode. They can smash the implant.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Ah, okay. So you can get your implants and get your breast examined and get your mammogram done. And then they have the 3D mammograms too, right? Something like that now.
Everything comes in 3D now.
Okay. See, I'm behind the time. Thank you, Miss T. I'm a little behind the times. But if you haven't done so, ladies and men that are having issues, please go to your doctor and get that exam and get it done. It can save your life. And do it sooner than later. Please do it sooner than later. So, Jenny C., how are you today? Hey, baby girl.
I'm all right. I do want to just add one thing. Don't just go to the mammogram, y'all. Do your self-examinations. Because there's a good number of us who find that weird lump and then we ignore it. And so that's step 2, the mammogram. But you should be doing your self-examinations lying down on your back with your 3 fingers, kind of pushing down gently on your boobs. And I think you can still do it with implants, right?
Yep, you can do anything you do with. Actually, you probably may be able to feel the lump a little more closely because of the implant pushing everything.
Yeah. So Jenny, do yourself. Stop right now and examine yourself while you're listening to our podcast. Go ahead, lie down. Put your arm, the side that you're examining, put that hand behind your head, and then take 3 fingers on the other hand, and you start on the nipple. And you kind of make sure there's nothing on the nipple. And then you rotate all around in circles until you hit your armpit all the way around. Make sure there's no weird lumps. And if you do it every month, right, you start to know what your normal breast. Some of us have very, what do they call it?
Dense.
Dense. Yes, I have one of those where you have tender spots too, depending what time of the month you're in, if you're still menstruating. And you want to get to know what your normal feelings are, so that is any changes from month to month, immediately to call your doctor.
Question.
All right, before we go on, do your other side. Make sure, take your other side.
You can see us go to YouTube right now at Brown Sugar Confessions, and we're giving ourselves right on air right now. Our own breast exam.
Start with a nipple. Yep. And go all the way around, all the way. And then also make sure you will also palpate. You see your armpit here? You want to also feel here. And it should all be smooth.
Under the armpit, huh?
Teresa is tickling herself.
We're all giving us on air breast exams right now. Our self mammogram, not mammogram, but our self breast checks right now.
Yeah, I have a question.
Listen to it, do it. Yeah.
I was told a while ago by a doctor that I had that it's best to do it when you're menstruating. Your breast exam, or like when you're self-checking yourself to check when you're menstruating. And I don't remember the exact reason why, but has anybody heard of that?
I haven't heard of that. Mm-mm. No,
Oh.
I know you're supposed to do it before and after is what I heard. It, like Jenny said, just to check yourself, see what's changed in your body and know your body. But I didn't know you're supposed to do it after. Jenny?
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't negate what your doctor was saying. It might be specific to you, Miss T.
Okay.
But just be aware, for some of us, we're so sensitive during your menstruation, you might not palpate deep enough to find irregularities in your breast tissue. Because it's not this gentle, it's not a gentle like pat a cat's head. It's like you're supposed to push in deep.
Like she was just and I'm like, how?
Yeah, no, like back to my menstruation days, there's no way I was gonna do a deep dive in my boobies during my period.
Right.
It would hurt you, Dad.
It would hurt. So I would skim it and then I would miss it for me. Because when I first found my lump on my right breast, I did not have my period. And I just happened to be scrubbing and I felt it.
So when you were doing a self-exam, you were just taking a bath and you found it?
I just found it and I just happened to find it. I didn't have my period.
Wow.
So, I just happened to, what is this weird thing? And then, I had breast cysts in college that were removed and benign. And I just thought they came back. And I went to see my doctor and the doctor was like, okay, we're not going to continue with your yearly examination, which you postponed for 4 years. It's time to go and get your mammogram right now.
Okay.
We're not going to waste time me doing your physical. Go. But I have no questions. Go get your mammogram right now.
Wow. So when you got the mammogram and you got the results, did they ask that your family come in with you, or just something that you and the doctor talked about?
The mammogram, they were very concerned because they do a whole formula where they calculate your age and what they see, that's a score. And they immediately said, we need to do a ultrasound guided biopsy like this week. And I said, well, I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm taking my kids to Atlantic City for a dance competition. And they said, all right, well, you can go, but then that means we need to see you tomorrow morning for the biopsy.
Wow.
So they squeezed me in and I had it done and I drove them. That was a Wednesday. I drove them to the Atlantic City. And then they called me on Friday to tell me that I had cancer.
Wow.
And they wanted me to go
done and then got the call.
Yeah.
Wow. So Jenny C, something I've always wanted to know is when you get this diagnosis of cancer, and of course, what emotions run through your body? I could say I could guess. I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to ask. Like, what runs through your body? And your husband's. What do you recall? What he was feeling, or what he said he was feeling?
Well, we had gone through testicular cancer for him.
Okay.
And friends that are close to me know that we have a lot of trauma in our family. And to be quite frank, I had relief when I got the diagnosis because I was waiting for something else bad to happen to my family. And I was just like, thank God, I'm going to take one for the team, having no idea how bad it was going to be. So when first reaction was relief. And then second reaction was, I better live to see my kids grow up.
Okay.
I was really worried about that they wouldn't have a mother. That was my other. And my husband went into just full on just shock. Because I had seemed I was like Superwoman, and how could this happen to me?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now a crazy question. This might sound, I don't know how this might sound. I'm going to ask you. You mentioned Superwoman, right? Because it also is a stereotype for women of color, for African American women. Is that also a stereotype in the Asian culture, or just Superwoman persona where you have to be tough and not show what you're really feeling? Or is it the opposite?
Oh, it's absolutely the Superwoman. You don't show weakness. You're supposed to still be overachieving in spite of your cancer. I knew not to be bald. I went bald, but I knew not to be very upfront about the suffering. Even on my social media posts, Cheese is nodding. Yeah. When you get sick like this, I started a whole Facebook page called Jenny's Transformation. So I could give people a very diluted understanding of what was happening to me. And only some very close friends that I actually tell them how bad it was. I mean, I didn't even break down in front of my husband until in the middle of chemo one day. I just started to cry and I said, I don't think I can finish chemotherapy. I don't know if I'm going to live through this. And he got so horrified, he changed the subject and talked about something. He didn't know what to do with me. He was like, and he just started talking about something else. He did not know how to handle when I was breaking down.
Wow. So how does it affect the relationship, the intimacy when you're going through, you're when you get the diagnosis, you're going through chemo? Do your support systems, being your doctors and all the lay people and your nurses and the whole community team around you, do they talk to you about the changes in your relationship that could happen? And if so, like, what changes did you notice that happen in your relationship with your husband, with intimacy and just, being there?
All right. So to be frank, like really honest, right? So I want the audience members to understand, those of us who are on the support side, because I've been on the support side with my husband's cancer, and then he had to turn around and be support for me. Going into this diagnosis has a lot to do. The questions you asked of me, a lot of it has to do with how strong your relationship was prior to the diagnosis.
Okay.
Like how clear you are with your dedication to each other. And your communication has to be really strong. Because, to give you a TMI moment, when I delivered my twins, they were not kind with the episiotomy. So for me to have intercourse was very painful for the first 2 or 3 years.
Hold on.
And my husband I'm sorry.
What's an episiotomy?
Okay. They will snip the area between your lotus canal and your butthole so the baby comes out quicker.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Grabs are hard.
Exactly. You have
to
grab your heart because they worry that if hospitals, they want the the delivery to be quick because they don't want you to tear that area. Right. So also for efficiency,
instead,
they'll snip it. I still remember the feeling of her cutting through it. Ugh. And in my case, the doctors, because I had twins, had one doctor, thank God she had a small arm. She reached all the way up into her elbows to turn my baby around inside me. She couldn't have done that without doing that.
Wow.
But my point is, she told me afterwards, I sewed you up extra tight for your husband. So it was really painful for many, many years.
Oh my God, I'm terrified.
We had that understanding. If you get a very good birth doctor, they'll massage that area and give you time for that to naturally expand for your baby. That's a whole nother topic, Dr. Val.
Yeah.
But we had that situation happen. So we were already openly communicating. And he was like, at that time, he said, I don't want to have intercourse with you if you're in pain.
Did the lay people, the doctors and all that support system, not including your husband at this point, did they tell you what's going to happen with your body, when it comes to, because you're a young, vibrant woman, married? Do they go into, okay, with chemo, your sex drive is going to decrease. With chemo, this is going to happen. Do they talk about sexuality when you're going through chemo and cancer? That's the question.
No.
Dang.
No, they did not bring that up. Oh, stop it. They gave me booklets on energy conservation, and has an occupational therapist from before children. I knew about that. So all the things about how, you have a limited number of energy levels, and everything will take that energy, and just be clear that once you use up all your energy, it's done, right? There's nothing in there that talked about how to be intimate. It wasn't only until I found a gynecologist who suggested lubrication. No one spoke about it. If anything, I got a lecture about gaining weight.
Weight
And I
gain.
was like, yes, because they have old stats that talk about how being overweight will increase risk of your cancer coming back. However, I was at my most fit when I got diagnosed. I had lost all the baby extra luggage that I had gained. And and I got fit. I was like working out and completely vegan and at my strongest. And then the lump showed up.
Wow.
Hey.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're at your fittest point of your life and you get the diagnosis. So you go through your chemo, you're on the other side of recovery. Does the desire come back like it used to? How long did the desire come back for you? Or did it come back and did you have to work harder at it? And the first time after you were able, getting out of chemo, you guys were together, did the things change? That part of the relationship.
For me, things changed because when now that I've been in a life or death myself, I'm much more able to ask what I want when we're being intimate. I will direct him because he's lost. I there's no way I want to have any intimacy if I don't communicate with him. And that's one thing I would really urge our listeners. You must be with a partner that will fully support you in what you need. And when you're going through cancer treatment, and this applies to anybody going through it, and any type of cancer, it has to be with someone that will be a part of your inner circle. My therapist, when we were going through cancer for my husband, said, you must always be dumping out of your circle. So like I'm the innermost circle and the next circle will be my husband, right? And then outside of him are like the kids or extended family, friends and family. And everyone's always dumping out. Like I get to complain to my husband. He gets to complain to other people. Right. No one ever dumps into the circle. So if you are going through treatment, your partner really needs to be the one going, what do you need? Do you need intimacy? Let me provide it for you in whatever situation you need.
So have a voice.
Because you must have a voice and you must be encouraged to have a voice. Are you hearing me? If you've just been diagnosed or you're going through treatment or you're going through recovery, your partner, it doesn't even matter if you have cancer. You should be with a partner that will listen to you and give you what you need, but especially during that time, because all of your energy is wrapped up in fighting the cancer, fighting your treatment. Because if you're going through chemo, you're dealing with it invading your entire body.
Right.
And there's no extra energy, y'all, to deal with making sure someone else is happy, because there's no energy. The bald facts of it, there are very, very few people who can actually be like, oh, I want to have it all the time. And nothing wrong with that if you are lucky enough to have that energy. But most of us, especially if you're going through chemo, surgery, radiation, all of that, you barely have enough energy to live. And then once you're in recovery, I wish the doctors could have said, hey, if you even have a tiny bit of a need, here's some resources. Try this lube. Have you tried positions? Maybe just being pleasure is enough, and that'll burn up all your energy for the day.
That's really important, Jenny C, is that even if they had some resources, just what lube to use, what positions to try, that matters, right? Yeah. That really matters. So, we're gonna, this has really touched me. My mom is, she's a breast cancer survivor, and I know probably all of us know someone that has been touched by breast cancer. And I want to thank you for sharing your story with us. And we're going to continue sharing this story throughout this whole month and getting to know you and not your husband, but your husband could want to ask some questions, because I think that people need a level of relatedness. And I thank you for opening up and sharing our story. Thank you so much.
With that, Jenny, I'd like to thank you for your words, and we're going to go to break. Please stay tuned to Power 1017 as Brown Sugar Confessions comes back after we pay some bills. Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions, only on Power 1017. We want to thank everyone for listening to us on our YouTube channel at Brown Sugar Confessions, for signing up for our Patreon and liking us on Instagram and Facebook. We had a comment from Tracy. So earlier we mentioned breast cancer awareness and everyone's wearing pink. Not everyone wears pink. And from my understanding, when I was back in Texas, I went to a breast cancer awareness walk, and a lot of women were like, oh, we're wearing pink and it's for our, what can we say the regular word for this? Tatas. Okay. So for our tatas, it's pink, but my tatas are not pink. So I do not wear pink. I wear brown.
Hold up. So the reason the color is pink for breast cancer awareness is because of the literal tata is pink.
Colored, yes. Well, when you think about it, a lot of the women at first that were repping this it was a lot of white women, right? And I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking at white women's tatas, but I'm gonna assume that they're pink. I've heard they were pink. So they're wearing that for that, but it doesn't make sense for me. It's like when they did the march back when Trump was first president and everyone was wearing the pink hats. Remember the pink hats?
Oh yeah.
Right?
I tried to black that time of my life out.
Yeah. How would I wear a pink hat when my stuff ain't pink?
Interesting. I had no idea that that's what the pink stood for.
I always thought it was for girl colors because
I thought it was
the girl color.
Yeah,
interesting.
Same.
The things that you learn only on Power 1017. So thank you for that drop of knowledge there, Ms. Treese. You're always there to just set us straight because I had no idea.
It's the Virgo in me.
Okay, I have a question. Question regarding the color of the tata tip. Yeah. Mine are different colors after children. So which colors? Is it current tata tip or before children tata tip color?
Whichever one you want.
Okay.
I was about to say, is it TMI to ask what color is before and what color is after?
Yeah, y'all get off.
I'm kind of curious too. I was wondering that, but I just didn't want to be the one to say it. So thank you. Yes. I'm curious.
I'll take this one for the team. We'll talk about it later.
Yes, we're gonna get back into it because we're gonna go on a whole nother tangent on talking about the color of the tips of the tatas. Oh my Lord.
So does this mean that instead of wearing pink next week, we're wearing like some variation of whatever our tata color is?
I guess.
Listen, so I'm sabotaging Dr. Look, I just did a video shoot where we had to do tata tip lipstick.
Oh my God.
And everybody's all shown up with these beautifully like light pink tata tips because most of them were Caucasian. And I was like, well, if I wear my current tata tip colors, you won't see I have lips. So I had to do pre-children lips. I'm done now.
Okay. I digress and move forward. We are off this subject of the color of the tip of the tata, pre or post, kids, whatever. We're moving forward. Katie, what's up, girl?
Hey, so did you guys see that we now have something very different on the cover of Playboy?
How different is different? Let me get my drink.
I haven't seen Playboy in a minute, but how different?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really look at Playboy covers very often. It's just not my interest.
It's just high school, but go ahead.
I'm interested now. So we have a very lovely looking Bretman Rock, which is the first gay man to appear on the cover of Playboy.
Hey.
Let me tell you, not a bad looking,
Finally,
not a
that's the
bad
first
He
one.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Very.
right. Hold on, let
Mhm.
me pull this up.
You
All
gotta
right,
look
go
at his
to Patreon.
Tata tips. Look at his Tata
Tata
tips.
Here we go. It's Tata
He's a-
tips Peer Prost.
They're very beautiful Tata
The
tips.
tatas. Actually, you know what? That was one of the things that actually caught my attention was his tatas because he
Ooh.
has them pierced.
Mhm.
Oh.
And they look very nice and very and
Well,
Okay.
he's rocking
Filipino.
the heck. He's Filipino. Yes.
Hey.
these people being represented out there. All right, all
We
right.
got people to go majority on the face of Playboy.
Mhm. So
And
21, they finally get right and get an openly gay person on Playboy.
Yeah.
All right, good for them.
I'm kind of mad his eyebrows look better than mine.
Right. All right,
For
so
real.
we are going to put his info, not his info, but like his picture. Go to Patreon, check him out. Jenny sees laughing. Like, we're going to put his info.
like let me write that down real quick.
He's kind of cute. He is actually real cute.
He
Go check
is.
him. He is. He's good looking. So congratulations. What's his name?
His name is Bretman Rock.
Congratulations, Rock. Isn't Bretman? Isn't that the guy? Isn't he already in show business or something? Bretman Rock. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to
He's
move
like
on.
a makeup artist or something. I thought I saw that. Hold on, let me go back.
All right. Well, we're going to move on.
Yeah,
because
he's a makeup artist.
He's a makeup artist. That's where I know that name, Bretman Rock.
Yeah.
I think I see him on TikTok. And
He's
he has
probably
hair.
on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's on YouTube.
Yes, he is. I've seen him. He is absolutely gorgeous, little thing. Yeah. So congratulations, Bretman. All right.
Hey.
Well, we're going to jump right back into our next hot topic, or our next actually topic that we're going to talk about, because it's Kinktober month.
Kinktober.
What is kink? How do you kink? What is kink? Why would I kink? Why would you kink?
Why
Okay,
should
let me
we
ask you
kink?
something. If you guys have any questions about anything that we're talking about tonight, make sure you hit me up at Valerie at Swan Center. We're going to have these links below. And if you're having questions and concerns around your intimacy with cancer, and if you're having questions around understanding or want to get into kink, I'm your girl. I can answer some questions for you. So just hit me up at Valerie@swancenter.com. And please do me a favor, also send your emails in. We love them, by the way. Keep them coming. We're not going to do one tonight. We don't have time. We got like so much to talk about. But you know what it is by now. It's brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And not to mention, go to our YouTube, like and subscribe, because we've got a contest coming up. Misty's going to talk about later on. But there's so much going on. So let's Kinktober. I'm all about it. Hey, I'm wearing pink and black because I'm that kind of girl. So there's been some questions from y'all about kink. So let's fire them up. We got a few minutes. We're going to talk about kink. We're going to do it the whole month of Kinktober. And y'all can wear your fetish outfits. I might wear my fetish in pink next week.
See, I'm not even that advanced. Let's start with the basics. What is a kink?
All right, so who wants to go first on what a kink is? And are y'all, I'm a kinkster. I'm just gonna put it out there. And Tracy's got her hand up. She's a kinkster. Who else is a kinkster?
Not me.
That's it. You know, so you know what? Kink is that weird word that people use to describe non-vanilla sexual relations. That's what really kink is. It's just the word, that envelope word for non-vanilla sex. That's it.
Wait, question. So when you mean like vanilla, are we talking like heteronormative, like something that is normal within a certain mind, like group set, like which is the, you know, I wouldn't say the majority because I don't know what everybody does in the sheets, but you know, guy, girl, and this is how it is, and anything that deviates outside of that would be considered kink?
No, because kink is not about your sexual orientation.
Okay.
So it's really about having a fantasy, and that is that you and your partner speak on and consent on and actually play it out. And it involves things that are not typical vanilla. And vanilla, as I mentioned, it's not about orientation. It's not about your preference, your gender. It's really about the type of sexual play that you like to have. If you're into spanking, if you're into flogging, if you're into rope play, all that stuff can fall under the word of, or the umbrella of kink. Yeah, Katie.
Help. What's the difference between flogging and spanking, please?
You know, it depends on the instrument that's used. A lot of people that are flogged use a flogger. There's an actual instrument called a flogger. And then spanking is often done by the hand. So you get spanked by the hand and you get flogged by the flogger.
So it's like flogger, like a stick?
If flogger is, when you go to Patreon, I will actually show you what a flogger may look like. Not that I would know, because of course I don't have one.
Oh, so it's show and tell on Patreon?
It's show and tell on Patreon.
Yes.
You know, you can get your custom made flogger. It can have your initials in it. They're made out of leather, out of wood. Some people, I've seen one lady where she took an oar from a boat, and that was her flogger. That's what she liked to be flogged with.
I've seen them. Now that you say that, I think I've seen them. I've seen some collegiate organizations that have had them in their, place or domiciles. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. I get the flogger. I just didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a flogger thing that, and you get spanked with your hand.
Okay, so what if you're getting spanked with a whip?
Then you're getting whipped.
The more you know.
And there's all kinds of different whips. But all that falls under, the umbrella of kink play. And, it falls under, a certain level of, we call it power exchange, if those that like to play in that type of lifestyle. I want to go and put this out there because I get so many questions about kink. Kink is not about abuse. And I want to put that out there right now, because that is probably the one question I always get is that, I think my partner's abused me because he wants to do this to me or she wants to do this to me. It is not about abuse. It is about the couples having an open and honest conversation around their deepest fantasy. And sometimes the fantasy isn't always vanilla. It can be a little dark. It can be a little like, whoa. But if you can't tell your partner your deepest, darkest fantasy, then really who can you tell your fantasy to, right? That's one of the things I always say. And you make this conversation about what you would like to explore, and then together you negotiate terms. It's called, in that lifestyle, and it is called a lifestyle, by the way. It's called topping from the bottom, because the submissive, that's the person that really has all the control. They are telling you what they want and don't want and how they want it done. And they absolutely are in control of the whole scene. And the scene is what you negotiate your play around. Does that make sense? I know there's a lot of words out there. Does that make sense?
My question is just from, dirt basic understanding. Okay, so we get kink, but you say vanilla, but what do you mean by vanilla?
So vanilla is when couples just want to have, I would call what is normal, AKA, and what is normal, right? But basic, but what is basic? Sex without fantasy involvement, which might include some type of whip or chain or rope or just basic vanilla, non-outside of that spectrum play.
So like literally get in and get out.
Literally get in and get out. Exactly. Okay. without trying to explore who you are. You know, tantric is not vanilla. BDSM is not vanilla. There are many types of sexual acts and enjoyment that are not considered vanilla, by the way. But vanilla is just sticking to that routine of what you're always been doing, just keeping it in that box. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. So I just want to put that out. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. That makes sense. Next question. Does anybody else have questions? Because I'm probably going to ask all the questions if not. Nah.
And not be shy.
Cool.
I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert, but I'm gonna try to answer the best I can.
What's the best way to ask this question? How do you know if you are kinky, or how do you realize this might not be normal and I need to go and find my tribe?
So you want to know, like, when do you realize that you want to have some kink? Is that what you're kind of asking me?
Yeah, like how do you know, like I
Jeez,
read an article.
Smiling back there for? Why are you smiling?
Because I found out completely by accident.
Oh, like
I didn't know these things were out there. I was older when I lost my virginity. I was like going on 20 when I lost my virginity. I didn't know. All I knew was like missionary, top to bottom. Like there was no any of that. And one night he happened to touch an area and do something by accident. Completely by accident. And I was like, ooh. I like, when I say my senses went from like, oh, I feel like one of those 7 doors walking back from the mind. Like that's what it felt like from me. And then when I found that kink, that specific kink, I'll be honest, it was a spank. Very good one. When I tell you, like, my antennas were like tingle, 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 tingle. I was like, this is it. What is this? And I had to go out, and luckily I was still in the dorms kind of. And I asked people what it was, and they were in California, and they took me to a club, and that's where I got my first non-intercourse involved kink training.
Define the kink training.
I found, while we were at the club, I went there to specifically meet with someone that was very proficient in spanking. I did not want to have intercourse or anything like that. I wanted to see if this was something that I was into outside of intercourse. And I went, and it was amazing. It relieved so much stress in my life. Like, when you get somebody that is proficiently trained, the amount of stress you can leave behind in one session is mind-blowing. It's why I like Shibari so much.
That's what I am interested in, but I don't have anybody to explore that with, if that makes sense. And I'm not confident enough to do it by myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, so that's why I'm like, if I might have a kink, that might be it, because it looks amazing, but I don't understand it completely. So I need like to find either people that have done it, or videos or something to explain more about it. Because a little bit, I think I've got like the rim of the ice.
Yeah. I've had a couple of masters, and there was no intercourse involved. It was strictly just that. And it is beautiful. They set up mirrors all around so you can see yourself in these different states, and you almost don't recognize yourself.
Oh, wow.
And then, it's amazing. Find someone who is proficient, and find someone who is not just playing.
I think that's my other thing that I'm scared of, is finding somebody who's like,
when you
they don't know what
somebody,
they're doing.
Somebody who is just playing and does not know what they're doing, they can really hurt you. They can put you in the hospital and paralyze you.
Yeah.
find somebody that knows what they're doing. And this isn't just like, oh, you want a daddy? Cause I'm a dom. Like, no.
I feel like doms don't go around introducing themselves like that either.
Some do, some are jerks.
Yeah.
But then they find out I'm a brat and then they don't want anything to do with me.
So what's a brat, Trees?
Oh my God. I'm a Virgo, let's be completely honest. And I love pushing buttons. And I love pushing buttons in the most inappropriate places. And it is one of my life's goals to see how uncomfortable I can make my partner. And then I like to see what they're going to do to me afterwards.
That sounds like a brat.
Yeah, very much. I didn't know that's what I was. I just knew that I was just this. I had been with very dominant men before, and even some dominant women, but I always had this way. They used to just call me a sass mouth, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And it wasn't until I got into this that I realized, like, oh, I'm a brat and a good one. But like, a lot of doms will not, when they find out you're a brat, they're just like, I don't want to be taught from the bottom. You got to be submissive all the time. And here I come with my little smart, sassy mouth.
Sass mouth.
That's what.
Yeah, but that's how I found it was. I did not like, I'm into kink. No, he accidentally spanked me and my antennas went kaplooey. That was
interesting. Another question, probably. If, and I guess it's more of a thing, you figure out where your niche is when it comes to kinks. Like, because I know some people like to be choked and like to be spanked, and then I guess all people think that that's supposed to be part of the norm. Is that correct? Is that incorrect?
Well, I think the norm is individual.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, if you're, I think Therese made a good statement about, doms, or it might have been you, Miss T, about finding a good dom that has training, number one, and is going to take the time to take care of you and listen to you, number two. That's what most is important if you're going to play in the kink world. Not just finding some body and say, oh, I'm a dom, and just say, surrender your body to them. No, it's really about the ultimate trust, because as a submissive, you're going to surrender yourself over to this individual once you've given them the parameters of the play that you want to have. And then you have to trust that they're going to do that, right? And then the dom or the dame has to have a huge amount of self-control, because you can power trip on that. Imagine someone kneeling before you, calling you, you're my dom. And by the way, the term master and slave, that terminology has kind of worked itself out of the BDSM world. It's kind of moved itself out. Yeah. So you'll hear dom, dame, dom, submissive, that kind of stuff. You'll hear language more so.
Daddy.
But yeah, I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a very good thing.
I'm not comfortable with that other language at all.
Yeah, slave and master is, that triggers a lot of people and didn't feel comfortable if you're a person of color, if you're from, African American, if you want to play in that kink world. And I know that, if I had a female Black client that wanted to play in there but didn't want to be called a slave, then what do you call her? So then, that the wording just seems right, just dom and a sub. That keeps it simple. So we're going to keep those conversations going each and every week on Power 1017. And as I've said before, I think Therese mentioned it. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Valerie@swancenter.com. And if you've got any sexual concerns, I can help you out and refer you out to someone that can help you, which is mostly important as well. And always send your emails to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. And you better like and subscribe, because Miss T has something so important to say about a contest that we're running. Take it away, Miss Blue.
All right. So bring your ear closer to the speaker. Bring your ear closer to the speaker. It's closer to the speaker. Okay.
I'm listening. Let's go.
We are running a raffle contest. We are looking for a guest speaker, or not a guest speaker, a guest host for Brown Sugar Confessions.
So do you want to be a guest host out there?
Yes, if you would like to be a guest host on Brown Sugar Confessions and talk about all the weird, wonderful world of sex and relationships with us, here's what you need to do. Like and subscribe to our YouTube and or our Facebook page and tag one of your friends to do the same. When you do, we will receive it and you get an entry into our raffle for guest speaker starting in November. So best of luck to you. May the odds be in your favor. Like and subscribe to us at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, you can listen to us Wednesdays at 11 on Power 1017 and Thursdays on YouTube. So we hope to see your name in our raffle.
Thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe to all our YouTube and Facebook and Instagram channels. You know it, Brown Sugar Confessions. I'm Doc Val, Trees, Jenny C, Miss T, KD. We love you out there. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week only on Brown Sugar Confessions. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.